we need to talk about Jarome Luai. And look, I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, but the guy has carried the NRL during the off-season. And, well, we haven't talked footy for quite some time. And this whole contract saga is very interesting. I'm currently recording on the 28th of December, meaning it's been 12 days since he apparently signed for the West Tigers. But yet, we've heard absolutely nothing. So it is a very interesting situation. Also, in saying that, there's a good chance that this video becomes severely outdated very quickly because, well, it gets confirmed while I'm sat here talking to my $50 webcam. And I'm not going to lie, I've been planning to make this video for a while and I've been waiting for the guy to sign with the West Tigers for it to be everywhere. And look, it's no secret, I'm ripping the Penrith Premiership shirt. I like Jarome Luai. I think he's overhated, and you look, I think that some of it is brought upon himself, but he's a great character for the game. And honestly, the Penrith Panthers and the NRL itself are better for having a guy like Jarome Luai in it. And it sucks that how polarizing he's become, because when he first came to the league, he was so young, he was so confident, and now all that's changed is he's winning now, and of course everyone else is crying, including me, because he can't stop winning. The guy has played over 100 NRL games and has a winning percentage of 82. That's higher than Nathan Cleary's. The Penrith Panthers often win without Nathan Cleary than they do without Jarome Luai. Now, I know last year's grand final wasn't the best case for that to be shown, but let's be honest, he has been instrumental in all three of their premiership campaigns and turning the club around. When you think of the Penrith Panthers, yes, Nathan Cleary is the best player, but you think of Jarome Luai, Brian To'o, and Stephen Crichton. You think of these young gun Pacific Islander boys who have come up dominating comps year after year through the lower grades, and now they've come to the NRL and they're doing it again. This guy literally took over from James Maloney, a proven winner, one of the greatest winners of the last 20 years. This guy took the Cronulla Sharks as the main key playmaker to their first premiership, and look, let's be honest, even more impressive was he took the New Zealand Warriors to their second ever grand final. And this kid took over from that guy, and ever since he became the starting 5'8", they've lost 5 games in 5 years, or whatever crazy stat it is. I'm sure I put a bit of hyperbolic on that. Nathan Cleary had 3.5 full seasons, and yes, he made the finals in 2 of them, but it wasn't until Jarome Luai, who was the main guy in that crop. I mean, heck, he's the starting 5'8". He was the catalyst for change, and now apparently he might be walking out the front door and he's going to the worst club in the league. Talk about the NRL changing forever. This isn't just a guy who's gone from winning a premiership and he's going to go to the team that's coming last. He's literally going to a back-to-back wooden spoon team to probably the worst run club since those Newcastle Knights of the mid-2010s when Wayne Bennett left. It's not just that. He's coming from the best NRL team of all time. Certainly NRL era, perhaps the best rugby league team, period, of all time. I know a lot of people think it's crazy money, but let's be honest, for the Tigers to land a player of caliber that is Jarome Luai, I know $6 million for 5 years is crazy money. This is Nathan Cleary type of money for a guy who, well, I've just wrapped him, is no Nathan Cleary. To the club like the West Tigers, he 100% is. I'm not trying to be disrespectful here, but they're going into a season after just getting back-to-back wooden spoons with an unknown halves pairing. The common consensus being they're going to be getting a Super League veteran halfback and pairing him with a guy who couldn't even get a start at a Dragons team last year. I know they got Latu Fainu coming through, and the best case scenario is that he gets as much footy going into 2024 as possible. For a team that has struggled for so long to get an Origin player, I know he's struggled in Origin the past few years, but this is still a guy who was really instrumental in the New South Wales most dominant Origin series over Queensland. Guy's only 26. He's going to be 27 next year. By the time he goes to the Tigers, if this is indeed true, he'll be 28. So he won't even be in his prime. By what we've seen in the past and what all halves say, Jarome Luai won't even be hitting his prime until he goes to the Tigers. So we may not even see the best of Jarome Luai. I'm not saying this is 100% going to work, but at the very least, all Luai is going to do, even if the Tigers do go on to struggle even more, he's going to change the culture the same way he did at the Penrith Panthers. And judging by how popular he is off the field, you can guarantee at least some of those Penrith boys, especially the young guns trying to make a first team, are going to follow him over. Now, look, if they do struggle and Jarome Luai doesn't really work out for the Tigers in terms of finally getting them to a premiership, then he's just another long list of failed players who have struggled at the Tigers, where the common consensus has really been, I think it's more the West Tigers than it is the player. If he does go there on a big wicket that he's not going to get at most other clubs, it's fair to say, he can take him to the top 8, take him to their first finals game for what would have been 14 years. He takes him to their first top 4. He takes him to the premiership. This guy will leave a bigger legacy in Western Sydney than some of the greats of the game. He would go down as one of the West Tigers' greatest ever players, and he's probably already the Penrith Panthers' best ever 5'8". So I get it from Jarome Luai why he would go there, and a guy like Luai, I get the sense, he likes to be challenged and he loves proving people wrong, even if it does rub a lot of people the wrong way. It's been a while since Luai signed, which brings me on to another point. Look, if he does sign while I'm recording this, I probably won't keep this in. I might just keep it in anyway. I don't think he's going to the Tigers. I know that might seem crazy to say because all of the media articles have done everything they can to basically confirm that he's going, but we've heard nothing from Luai other than the fact he's signed nothing. We've heard nothing from the Panthers, and most importantly, we've heard nothing from the West Tigers. Yes, we've seen him in a cuddle at training, and they're all trying to put their media spin on it. I don't think he's going. It's been 12 days. The cool-off 10-day period is over. I don't think Luai signed anything. Maybe he's agreed to go verbally, and he's just going to go in there and sign once his Christmas holidays is over, because who can be bothered when there's beautiful Boxing Day Test cricket going on? There's something in me that thinks that Luai might just agree to the Tigers offer and in the last minute go back to Penrith. Because while I did just say Jarome Luai could become a superstar in Western Sydney, I mean, to be fair, he already is. If he can stay at the Penrith Panthers, he might earn more money off the field for the next 20 years than he ever would. Because if he does go to the Tigers and struggle, then while he'll be on huge money for the next 5 years, he'll always be known as the guy who couldn't do it without Nathan Cleary. At least if he stays, and like I said, he hasn't even hit his prime yet. If he stays next to Nathan and they win, I'll be generous here, another 3 or 4 competitions in the next 10 years, when it's likely that they'll win probably heaps more. Imagine the endorsements. Imagine the jobs he could get in and around Penrith. Imagine the business opportunities. Now, look, I'm poor as shit. I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. But you got to think commercially, this guy is going to be worth so much more off the field if he can stay in Penrith, be the king of Penrith. I mean, he already essentially is the king of Western Sydney. I mean, Nathan Cleary is the guy, but Jarome Luai is the heart of that team. I don't think he's going anywhere. I genuinely think even if he has signed it and they're in the call-off period, I just think he's using it to get as much money out of Penrith as possible. Because let's face it, even if he's on $700K, which would be an absolute max right now, that's still unders, especially with the new salary cap coming in. It's a very interesting situation with Jarome Luai. Like I said, I'm happy either way, because while it would suck to probably see him and Cleary continue to dominate club level, what he could do off the field would be insane. And imagine his legacy. Like I said, he's already the best Penrith Panthers 5'8". If he can go on, kick on and continue, maybe take even a bigger role as he goes into his prime, imagine the legacy he could have in the game. And while people probably still say he could never do without Nathan Cleary, at least that question won't be 100%. He does go to the Tigers, however, that question's always going to linger. Again, though, I think one competition, if he was to win it at the Tigers, is probably more impressive than the 3 he could go on to win at Penrith. So it's very interesting for Jarome Luai. Personally, I think he's staying at Penrith. Either way, it's great for him. I hope he gets as much money as possible, because the guy's probably been on unders the past few years, and he 100% deserves to go out on his own terms. He's given so much to that Penrith Panthers club. I know last year's grand final probably damages his reputation just a little bit. I don't know why, because it's literally just one game and he was great in the 2 previous grand finals. Even in Origin, I thought he was clearly better than Nathan Cleary in game 1 this year. I think it's going to be a win-win for Jarome Luai either way, because even if you guys go to the Tigers and struggle, I mean, we've seen it happen with everyone before. But if he does something special with the Tigers, then damn, that's a story that'll go into a bloody Hollywood blockbuster. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about the Jarome Luai situation? Let me know in the comment section down below. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel as we go into 2024. We're going to be popping off. Yeah, Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.